Discussion on verses 1 to 78 of 78. This verse begins with a clear indication that the primary objective of Allah, the Exalted, in relation to the creation is mercy. Chapter 55 Rahman verse 1.
The most merciful.
Unlike belief systems that portray God as primarily vengeful or harsh, Islam presents the relationship between Allah, the Exalted, and the creation as one founded upon mercy. This highlights the gentle, balanced, and considerate nature of the way of life chosen for humanity by Allah, the Exalted, the most merciful. Chapter 2 Al-Baqarah, verse 185.
Allah intends for you ease and does not intend for you hardship.
The commands and restrictions set by Allah, the Exalted, are limited in number, and are all designed to benefit the life of a person. They are not meant to burden, exhaust, or deprive, but to protect, refine, and elevate. When this reality is understood, adherence to Islamic teachings is no longer seen as a restriction, but as a means of attaining mercy and ease in both worlds. A person who lives according to these teachings attains peace of mind and stability through achieving a balanced mental and physical state, and by correctly placing everything and everyone within their life. Even when difficulties arise, they are not signs of cruelty or neglect. Rather, such hardships serve a corrective purpose, redirecting the individual toward reflection, learning, and sincere practice of Islamic guidance. In this way, mercy is present not only in ease, but also in trials, as both ultimately aim to guide the person toward lasting well-being and success in this world and the hereafter. Chapter 55 Rahman verse 1.
The most merciful.
In addition, a point that will be addressed in greater detail later in this chapter is that since the relationship between Allah, the Exalted, and the creation is founded upon mercy, one must not be misled when encountering verses of the Holy Quran that vividly describe hell. These verses are not expressions of cruelty, but warnings issued by the one who cares most for the safety of his creation. They resemble the warning given by a person to another about an imminent and severe danger. Although such warnings may cause fear or emotional discomfort, the one who receives them would ultimately feel gratitude, as the warning protects them from far greater harm. Allah, the Exalted, could have remained silent regarding hell or mentioned it only briefly. However, out of mercy and concern for humanity, He has repeatedly described its severity so that people may take heed and protect themselves from it. These warnings are therefore a manifestation of care, not harshness, and they serve as a means of guiding people away from destruction towards safety and well-being. It is also incorrect to assume that if Allah, the Exalted, were truly merciful, He would not have created hell. This assumption overlooks the purpose for which the creation exists. Humanity was created with responsibility and moral accountability, and this purpose cannot be fulfilled without the existence of consequences. Furthermore, if Allah the Exalted were to treat the one who persists in wrongdoing in the same manner as the one who strives to do good, this would contradict His perfect justice. Chapter 45 Al-Jatiyah, verse 21.
Or do those who commit evils think we will make them like those who have believed and done righteous deeds, make them equal in their life and their death? Evil is that which they judge.
Mercy does not negate justice. Rather, true mercy operates in harmony with justice, ensuring that every person is dealt with fairly while still being given clear guidance, repeated warnings, and ample opportunity to reform. Chapter 55 Rahman verse 1.
The most merciful.
As mentioned earlier, this further indicates that the divine code of conduct granted to humanity is founded upon mercy and ease. Every aspect of this guidance is perfectly suited to human nature, and ultimately serves the benefit of the individual, even when that benefit is not immediately apparent. Chapter 55 Rahman verse 2.
Taught the Quran.
No matter how advanced a society becomes, and regardless of the extent of knowledge it acquires in fields related to the mental and physical dimensions of human life, it remains impossible for humanity to formulate a code of conduct that is fully aligned with human nature and capable of addressing every circumstance, condition, and situation encountered throughout earthly existence. Human understanding continues to evolve, with new discoveries constantly emerging, such as insights into the functions at different regions of the human brain. This ongoing process itself proves that humanity lacks the comprehensive knowledge required to establish a flawless system that consistently produces tranquility, justice, and balance at both individual and societal levels. Only Allah, the Exalted, possesses this complete and perfect knowledge, as He is the creator of all things and His knowledge encompasses the past, present, and future without limitation. He alone is therefore qualified to provide humanity with a code of conduct that clearly distinguishes good from evil and benefit from harm, and that enables people to attain peace of mind in a life otherwise filled with stress and confusion. History clearly shows that whenever this divine guidance was sincerely implemented, it led to the spread of justice, stability, and peace within society. For this reason, individuals must accept and adhere to the divine code of conduct granted to them, recognizing it as the most beneficial path for their well-being, even when certain aspects challenge personal desires. They should conduct themselves like a wise patient who accepts and follows the advice of a physician, understanding that such guidance is ultimately in their best interest, even when it involves bitter medicine or a strict regimen. In fact, as indicated by the order of the following verses, the divine code of conduct was established first, and human nature was then created in accordance with it. Chapter 55 Al-Qamah, verses 2-3.
Taught the Quran. Created the human.
This ordering helps explain why divine revelation is frequently described in the Holy Quran as a reminder. Islamic teachings function as a reminder for all people because they are perfectly aligned with human nature. Any system of conduct that clashes with the innate disposition of humanity will inevitably feel unnatural, leading to mental and physical imbalance when individuals attempt to live by it. In contrast, because Islamic teachings originate from the creator of human nature itself, they feel inherently familiar and supportive, fostering balance in both mental and physical states. This sense of recognition is particularly evident among those who accept Islam after previously following another belief system or way of life. Many such individuals describe experiencing a deep resonance with Islamic principles, even without extensive prior study, as though they are reconnecting with truths already embedded within them. This occurs because Islam does not impose an artificial or foreign framework upon humanity. Rather, it restores people to the natural state upon which Allah, the Exalted, created them. Other systems often enforce rules and values that are disconnected from human nature, resulting in inner conflict, dissatisfaction, and instability. However, this reality may remain concealed unless a person approaches Islamic teachings with sincerity and impartiality. Prejudice, arrogance, or blind attachment to inherited customs can obscure the heart's ability to recognize the harmony between divine guidance and human nature. When approached with openness, revelation does not appear as a burden or restriction. Instead, it emerges as a reminder that restores balance, nurtures tranquility, and directs humanity toward its true purpose. In this way, divine revelation functions both as a mirror and a guide, a mirror reflecting the innate truth already present within the human soul, and a guide leading toward peace of mind in both worlds, through attaining a balanced mental and physical state, and through correctly placing everything and everyone within one's life. Chapter 55 Al-Qamah, verses 2-3.
Taught the Quran. Created the human.
This order clarifies that the purpose behind the creation of mankind was to teach them the divine code of conduct, through which Allah, the Exalted, is worshipped correctly. Chapter 51 Ad-Dariyat, verse 56.
And I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship obey me.
To fulfill this purpose, a person must fulfill the various aspects of the divine code of conduct as preserved in this era within the Holy Quran. One aspect is to recite it accurately and consistently. Another is to strive to understand its teachings through a reliable and trustworthy source and teacher. The final aspect is to implement its teachings sincerely with the intention of pleasing Allah, the Exalted, in accordance with the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. An obedient Muslim gives priority to acting upon the guidance of the Holy Quran over following personal desires that contradict it. True obedience to the Book of Allah, the Exalted, is reflected in shaping one's character according to its teachings. This was the practice of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, as confirmed in a hadith recorded in Sunan Abu Dawood, number 1342. A central component of sincerity toward the Holy Quran is approaching it with the genuine intention of understanding and acting upon all of its guidance, regardless of whether certain commands conflict with personal inclinations. Those who selectively accept or reject its instructions based on their desires demonstrate insincerity toward it and, as a result, fail to benefit fully from its guidance. Chapter 17 Al-Isra, verse 82.
And we send down of the Quran that which is healing and mercy for the believers, but it does not increase the wrongdoers except in loss.
It is also essential to recognize that although the Holy Quran is a remedy for the difficulties of worldly life, it should not be treated merely as a tool to be used only in times of hardship and then set aside. Its primary purpose is to guide humanity safely toward the hereafter. Limiting one's engagement with the Holy Quran to resolving worldly problems neglects its fundamental role and contradicts the conduct of an obedient Muslim, whose life is shaped continuously by its guidance rather than only during moments of distress. Not only did Allah, the Exalted, provide humanity with the perfect code of conduct through His commands and prohibitions, but He also provided clear and decisive evidence showing that His divine guidance is the best path to follow. This stands in clear contrast to other religions and ways of life, which often present a set of instructions or moral rules without offering convincing evidence as to why those instructions are superior or most beneficial. Islamic guidance does not ask for blind adherence. Rather, it invites reflection, understanding, and insight, allowing people to recognize through reason, experience, and clear proofs that this way of life is the most just, balanced, and beneficial for both the individual and society. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 4.
He taught him clear evidence.
The expressions of the Holy Quran are unmatched, and its meanings are conveyed with clarity and directness. Its words and verses possess a level of eloquence that no other book can rival. It is completely free from contradictions, a flaw that can be found in all other scriptures and man-made teachings. The Holy Quran presents detailed accounts of previous nations, despite being revealed to the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, who had no formal education in history. It commands every form of good and forbids every form of evil, addressing matters that affect both individuals and society as a whole, so that justice, security, and peace may spread throughout homes and communities. The Holy Quran avoids exaggeration, falsehood, and fabrication, unlike poetry, legends, and fables. Every verse is beneficial and practically applicable to daily life. Even when accounts are repeated, each repetition highlights distinct and essential lessons. Unlike any other book, repeated study of the Holy Quran does not lead to boredom. Instead, deeper layers of meaning continue to unfold. It presents promises and warnings and supports them with clear and undeniable proofs. When addressing concepts that may appear abstract, such as patience, it provides simple and practical methods for applying them in real life. The Holy Quran directs people toward fulfilling the purpose of their creation, which is sincere obedience to Allah, the Exalted, through using the blessings they have been granted in ways pleasing to Him. Through this, individuals attain peace of mind and true success in both worlds by achieving a balanced mental and physical state, and by correctly placing everything and everyone within their life, while preparing adequately for accountability on the Day of Judgment. It makes the straight path clear and appealing to anyone seeking lasting tranquility and real success. Because it addresses the very nature of humanity, its guidance remains timeless and beneficial for every person, place, and generation. When correctly understood and implemented, it serves as a remedy for emotional, financial, and physical difficulties and provides solutions for every challenge an individual or society may face. History itself bears witness to how societies that sincerely implemented its teachings benefited from its comprehensive and enduring guidance. Despite the passage of centuries, not a single letter of the Holy Quran has been altered, in accordance with the promise of Allah, the Exalted. No other book in history possesses this distinction. Chapter 15 Al-Hijr, verse 9.
Indeed, it is we who sent down the message, i.e. the Quran, and indeed we will be its guardian.
Allah, the Exalted, addressed the root problems found within individuals and societies, and provided practical remedies for them. By correcting these foundational issues, the many secondary problems that arise from them are naturally resolved. This is how the Holy Quran comprehensively addresses everything required for success in both worlds. Chapter 16 and now, verse 89.
And we have sent down to you the book as clarification for all things.
This is the greatest timeless miracle granted by Allah the Exalted to His final messenger, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Only those who sincerely seek the truth and act upon it will benefit from this guidance, whereas those who pursue their desires and selectively accept or reject its teachings will encounter nothing but loss in both this world and the hereafter. Chapter 17 Al-Isra, verse 82.
And we send down of the Quran that which is healing and mercy for the believers, but it does not increase the wrongdoers except in loss.
Verse 4 can also be understood to mean that people were taught discernment, namely the ability to judge correctly when they adhere to the divine code of conduct. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 4.
He taught him discernment.
In reality, the divine code of conduct consists of both law and wisdom. The law provides the clear framework by which people must live, guiding them to use the blessings they have been granted correctly. Through this, they fulfill the rights of Allah, the Exalted, and the rights of other people, which in turn ensures the spread of justice, stability, and peace within society. Adherence to this law also enables a person to attain peace of mind by establishing order and balance in their life. Wisdom, on the other hand, teaches people how to apply this law correctly so that it produces benefit rather than harm. Knowledge alone is insufficient if it is not accompanied by wisdom, as wisdom ensures that actions are carried out with insight, fairness, and consideration of consequences in both worlds. Law without wisdom can easily be misused or misinterpreted, allowing individuals to exploit loopholes in order to wrong others while appearing compliant. Conversely, wisdom without law leads people to define right and wrong according to personal opinions and desires. This results in subjective and inconsistent standards, which inevitably produce injustice, imbalance, and conflict. All man-made systems suffer from these limitations, as they are shaped by restricted knowledge, limited experience, lack of foresight, and inherent biases, whether intentional or unintentional. Such systems can neither consistently secure peace of mind for individuals, nor establish lasting peace and justice within society. Therefore, both law and wisdom are essential. Together, they enable people to judge correctly, act justly, and fulfill their responsibilities toward Allah, the Exalted, and toward others. Through this balanced combination, individuals attain peace of mind, and societies are able to flourish upon foundations of justice, harmony, and mutual rights. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 4.
He taught him discernment.
The discernment granted to people enables them not only to recognize the clear evidence supporting the divine code of conduct bestowed upon them, but also to reflect upon the signs within creation that point unmistakably to the oneness of Allah, the Exalted, and to the fact that He alone deserves obedience in every circumstance. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 5.
The sun and the moon move by precise calculation.
When the creation of the skies and the earth is observed, along with the countless systems operating within them in perfect balance, it becomes evident that there is only one who created, maintains, and governs the universe. The precise distance between the sun and the earth is a clear example of this balance, as life would not be possible if the sun were even slightly closer or further away. In the same way, the earth has been fashioned with a balanced and purified atmosphere that allows life to exist and flourish. The movement of the sun ensures that the earth receives a measured balance of light and darkness. The alternation of day and night, and their varying lengths throughout the year, allow people to benefit fully from both. If days were excessively long, fatigue would overwhelm people due to prolonged activity. If nights were overly extended, there would be insufficient time to earn a livelihood or pursue beneficial activities such as learning. Likewise, if nights were too short, people would be deprived of the rest necessary for physical and mental well-being. Any imbalance in the length of days and nights would also affect crops and food production, causing harm to people and animals alike. The flawless harmony governing the succession of day and night, along with other finely tuned systems within the universe, further testifies to the oneness of Allah, the Exalted. If there were multiple gods, each with independent will, conflict and disorder would inevitably arise, resulting in chaos throughout creation. Chapter 21 Al-Anbiya, verse 22.
Had there been within them, i.e., the heavens and earth gods besides Allah, they both would have been ruined.
The moon also plays a vital role by reflecting the light of the sun, offering guidance during the night, particularly for travelers across deserts and oceans, which remain essential routes for global trade even today. Its phases regulate the tides of the seas and oceans, and any disruption to these tides would lead to severe environmental consequences. Through the sun and the moon, people are also able to measure time accurately, a necessity for organizing life on Earth. When the precise positioning, movement, and balance of the sun and the moon within the solar system are considered collectively, they clearly point to the existence, power, and wisdom of a single creator who designed and sustains all things with perfect knowledge and control. As the entire creation, apart from mankind, has fully submitted to the obedience of Allah, the Exalted, it exists in a state of balance and harmony. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 6.
And the stars and trees prostrate.
This balance and harmony become evident when one reflects upon the universe, such as the precise rising and setting of the sun, the orderly phases of the moon, and the countless celestial bodies that remain fixed within their designated orbits. All of this harmony exists because these creations submit completely to the obedience of Allah, the Exalted, without resistance or deviation. Their consistency and stability are a direct result of this total submission. In contrast, such harmony is not consistently found among mankind, as people have been granted choice and often fail to submit fully to the obedience of Allah, the Exalted. As a result, imbalance, anxiety, and disorder emerge in individual lives and within societies. Therefore, if a person seeks to attain the same harmony and balance that is clearly observable throughout the universe, they must follow the example set by the rest of creation by sincerely obeying Allah, the Exalted, in all circumstances. This obedience is achieved by correctly using the blessings one has been granted, in accordance with Islamic teachings. Through this conduct, a person attains a balanced mental and physical state, places every aspect of life in its proper position, and prepares adequately for accountability on the Day of Judgment. As a result, such a person is granted tranquility and harmony in both worlds. In addition, this behavior will ensure the spread of justice and peace within one's society, as the rights of people will be fulfilled. Chapter 55 Rahman, verses 7 to 8.
And the heaven he raised and imposed the balance, that you not transgress within the balance.
When constructing even a simple building, careful thought and planning are essential to ensure its stability and safety. Structural elements, such as pillars, must be placed in precise locations, and every component must be coordinated to maintain the integrity of the building. Without deliberate design, the structure would collapse or fail to function properly. If this level of planning is necessary for something as small and simple as a building, it becomes evident that the vast and complex creation of the heavens and the earth could not have occurred by accident. The universe operates with extraordinary precision. Planets maintain exact orbits, the sun and moon provide the correct balance of light and darkness, and the physical laws governing matter and energy function flawlessly. Any deviation would render life impossible, the environment unstable, or the cosmos chaotic. The perfect construction of the universe, therefore, clearly points to the deliberate planning and infinite wisdom of the Creator, Allah the Exalted. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 7.
And the heaven he raised and imposed the balance, that you not transgress within the balance.
After encouraging people to reflect on the harmony of the universe, which results from complete obedience to Him, Allah, the Exalted, emphasizes that this obedience extends to fulfilling both His rights and the rights of people, in religious and worldly matters alike. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 9.
And establish weight in justice, and do not make deficient the balance.
The divine code of conduct provided by Allah, the Exalted, throughout history has always been a comprehensive guide that governs every circumstance a person encounters, shaping both their spiritual practices and their worldly interactions. Unfortunately, Many mistakenly believe that fulfilling obligations to Allah the Exalted, such as performing prayers, is sufficient and absolves them from their responsibilities toward others. This misconception often leads to the mistreatment of people, fostering corruption and injustice within society. Islam, however, encompasses the rights of both Allah the Exalted and humanity. One must strive to uphold both sets of rights. Those who harm others will face accountability on Judgment Day, even if they escape justice in this life. The wrongdoer may be required to transfer their good deeds to the victims, and if necessary, bear the burden of their victims' wrongs until justice is fully achieved. This severe consequence could result in damnation in hell, regardless of the individual's compliance with the rights of Allah the Exalted. This warning is highlighted in a hadith from Sahih Muslim, number 6579. By striving to fulfill the rights of Allah the Exalted and the rights of others, a person attains peace of mind, maintaining a balanced mental and physical state while correctly positioning all aspects of their life. This conduct also fosters justice and harmony within society, benefiting both individuals and communities. Chapter 55 Rahman verse 9.
And establish weight in justice, and do not make deficient the balance.
The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, strongly emphasized the importance of righteousness in business. In a hadith found in Sunan Ibn Majah, number 2146, he warned that merchants will be raised as immoral on Judgment Day, except those who fear Allah, act righteously, and speak the truth. This guidance applies to all who participate in commercial transactions. Fearing Allah, the Exalted, requires fulfilling His commands, avoiding His prohibitions, and facing one's destiny with patience, in accordance with the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. It also entails treating others with kindness, following the principle of dealing with others as one would wish to be treated. In practice, this means being honest and transparent in all business dealings, disclosing every relevant detail of a transaction to all parties involved. A hadith found in Sahih Bukhari, number 2079, warns that concealing defects or withholding information in financial matters leads to a loss of blessings. A righteous person refrains from deceiving others, overcharging, or engaging in illegal or unethical practices. If one cannot comply with the laws of their country, they should abstain from conducting business there. Righteous conduct also includes using one's business success in ways pleasing to Allah, the Exalted. By doing so, a person achieves a balanced mental and physical state, correctly positions all aspects of their life, and adequately prepares for their accountability on the Day of Judgment. This behavior brings peace of mind in both worlds. Conversely, those who misuse their business success, disrupt their mental and physical balance, mismanage their life, and fail to prepare for their accountability on the Day of Judgment. This leads to stress, difficulties, and unrest in both worlds, regardless of the worldly luxuries they may enjoy. Honesty is paramount. Persisting in lies fosters immorality, ultimately leading to punishment in the hereafter. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, warned in a hadith found in Jami at Tirmidhi, number 1971, that those who continuously lie will be recorded by Allah the Exalted as great liars. Righteousness and truthfulness in business are therefore essential for achieving peace, balance, and success in both this life and the hereafter. After emphasizing the importance of fulfilling the rights of Allah, the Exalted, and the rights of people, attention is returned to the signs within creation that unmistakably indicate His oneness and authority. Chapter 55 Rahman verse 10.
And the earth He laid out for the creatures.
The earth exhibits a remarkable balance, design, and suitability for sustaining life. Its landscapes are not random, rather they are arranged to allow multiple forms of use simultaneously. Fertile plains enable agriculture, providing sustenance for humans and animals alike, while solid ground offers stability for buildings, roads, and settlements. Mountains and highlands, though difficult to inhabit, serve as natural barriers, sources of minerals, and regulators of climate, demonstrating purposeful design even in areas less accessible to human life. The distribution of land and its varying altitudes further indicate careful planning. While extreme altitudes present challenges, the vast majority of land exists at optimal heights that facilitate human habitation, transportation, and agriculture. This balance ensures that people can live comfortably, while still facing natural challenges that inspire diligence and cooperation. Similarly, certain regions remain naturally inaccessible, discouraging overexploitation and preserving ecosystems, while the more essential and habitable areas are readily accessible. Natural resources provide another clear sign of divine planning. Resources necessary for human survival, water, fertile soil, forests, and minerals, are placed where they are most needed and easiest to obtain. Conversely, resources that are less critical or potentially harmful are less accessible, encouraging careful stewardship and responsible use. This distribution reflects a meticulous balance between provision, challenge, and sustainability, ensuring that humanity has what it needs to survive and thrive without being overwhelmed. The arrangement of the earth also demonstrates harmony with the cycles of life and the environment. Rivers flow naturally to nourish lands and communities. Seasons regulate agricultural cycles, and ecosystems maintain interdependent balances that sustain countless species. The precision of these systems reveals that they operate according to intentional design, not random chance. The intricate coordination of landforms, climates, resources, and natural processes points unmistakably to a creator who possesses infinite knowledge and wisdom. Reflecting on the Earth's design provides more than intellectual insight. It serves as a practical guide for humanity. By recognizing the Creator's wisdom in establishing such balance, people are reminded of their own responsibility to maintain justice, preserve resources, and live in harmony with the environment. The Earth, laid out with foresight and care, becomes a mirror reflecting Allah's, the Exalted, knowledge, mercy, and planning, and a call for humans to act with gratitude, responsibility, and obedience. Every feature of the Earth, from its accessible plains to its towering mountains, from its life-sustaining rivers to its mineral-rich deposits, clearly indicates that it was created with a purpose. Nothing has been left to chance. Those who ponder these signs cannot reasonably conclude that the Earth was formed randomly or without intention. Instead, the balance, order, and provision present throughout the planet serve as unmistakable evidence of the deliberate and perfect planning of Allah, the Exalted. Not only does Allah, the Exalted, provide for the basic needs of His creation, but He also manifests His generosity through the immense variety and richness of that provision, designed to nourish the body and delight the senses. Chapter 55 Rahman, verses 11 to 12.
Therein is fruit and palm trees having sheaths, and grain having husks and scented plants.
This verse highlights the abundant diversity in the foods and plants that sustain humanity. Fruits, for example, are not only a source of essential nutrients, vitamins, and hydration, but their different colors, textures, and flavors also provide aesthetic and sensory enjoyment. The sheathed palms and grains reflect meticulous design, allowing for protection during growth, storage, and harvesting, ensuring that sustenance remains available and safe for human use. Scented plants serve multiple purposes. Some provide medicinal benefits, others flavor foods, and many produce aromas that uplift the spirit and bring joy. This demonstrates that Allah, the Exalted, considers not only the physical well-being of His creation, but also the mental and emotional satisfaction of humans. The diversity in flavors, textures, and fragrances is a deliberate provision, enriching human life beyond mere survival. Moreover, the harmonious balance between these resources ensures that nutritional needs are met naturally. Different plants and fruits complement one another, providing a complete range of nutrients essential for health, while also offering a variety that prevents monotony and encourages appreciation. This balance is not random. It reflects the wisdom of a creator who understands the intricate needs of humans in both body and soul. Through this variety, Allah, the Exalted, invites reflection and gratitude. By observing the richness, utility, and beauty of the natural provisions around them, humans are reminded of His boundless generosity and care. The enjoyment derived from the bounty of the earth serves as a tangible sign of divine mercy, encouraging humans to use these blessings wisely, appreciate their Creator, and act in ways that maintain harmony and balance in their lives. In essence, the variety in sustenance is not only functional, but also purposeful, nurturing both the physical body and the human spirit, and pointing clearly to the wisdom, generosity, and meticulous planning of Allah, the Exalted. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 13.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
A person who takes care of another's provision, such as their housing or sustenance, deserves gratitude in return. Similarly, as Allah, the Exalted, grants every blessing within the universe to humanity, it is only just and appropriate for people to show Him gratitude. Gratitude begins with intention, where actions are performed solely to please Allah, the Exalted. If a person acts for personal gain, recognition, or any other reason, they will not attain reward from Allah, the Exalted. This principle is emphasized in a hadith found in Jami at-Tirmidhi, number 3154, which highlights that a sign of a good intention is acting without expecting appreciation or compensation from others. Gratitude can be expressed in different ways. Gratitude of the tongue involves speaking good or remaining silent, while gratitude of actions requires using the blessings one has been granted in ways that are pleasing to Allah, the Exalted, according to the guidance of the Holy Quran and the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Practicing such gratitude not only increases blessings, but also cultivates peace of mind in both worlds, achieving a balanced mental and physical state, and ensuring that everything and everyone in one's life is correctly placed. Chapter 14 Ibrahim, verse 7.
If you are grateful, I will surely increase you in favor.
When a person owns something, it is natural for them to use it according to their judgment. Likewise, as Allah the Exalted created, sustains, and owns everything in the universe, including human beings, He alone decides how all things should function. Therefore, obedience to Allah the Exalted is only fair, as all possessions, abilities, and life itself are His. Furthermore, blessings granted in this life are like loans from Allah the Exalted rather than gifts. Just as a loan must be used and returned according to the wishes of its owner, the blessings of this world must be employed in ways that please Allah, the Exalted. The proper use of these loans ensures both personal benefit and divine reward. By contrast, the blessings of paradise are true gifts. They are inherited without restriction and are fully enjoyed by those granted entry. Chapter 7 Al-Araf, verse 43.
And they will be called, "This is paradise which you have been made to inherit for what you used to do."
It is essential, therefore, not to confuse worldly blessings, which are entrusted to humans as a responsibility, with the gifts of paradise, which are freely granted. Understanding this distinction encourages gratitude, responsibility, and the correct use of all that Allah, the Exalted, has provided, leading to spiritual and worldly harmony. Allah, the Exalted, invites people to reflect on the creation of humans from clay and the creation of the supernatural beings, the jinn, from a smokeless flame of fire, illustrating His limitless power and wisdom in using two completely different substances to produce two distinct forms of intelligent life. Chapter 55 Rahman, verses 14 to 15.
He created man from clay like that of pottery. And He created the jinn from a smokeless flame of fire.
A thoughtful reflection on the human body reveals the remarkable precision with which it was created. The balance of organs, bones, senses, and internal systems is so intricate that even a minor disruption can result in illness or death. The complexity of the human body, with its interdependent biological, mental, and emotional systems, could not have arisen without intention, knowledge, and power. If even a simple object or structure requires design, planning, and maintenance to function properly, it is far more unreasonable to believe that humans, whose physical, psychological, and emotional systems are infinitely more sophisticated, could exist and operate without a creator and sustainer. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought, and every sensory perception depends on the precise laws and continuous oversight established by Allah, the Exalted. This reflection should lead a person to recognize the undeniable evidence of divine wisdom and control. Just as humans depend on careful maintenance and understanding to manage complex systems they create, the existence, functionality, and continuous balance of life itself point directly to the necessity of Allah's limitless knowledge, power, and guidance. This realization should inspire gratitude, humility, and obedience, acknowledging that the very faculties which allow humans to reason, feel, and act are all gifts entrusted by Allah, the Exalted. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 16. So
which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
As discussed earlier, The precise and harmonious movement of the sun ensures that the earth receives a balanced distribution of light and darkness. The carefully measured alternation of day and night, along with their gradual variation throughout the year, allows a person to derive maximum benefit from both. If the days were significantly longer, people would experience exhaustion due to extended periods of activity. If the nights were excessively long, there would be insufficient time to earn a livelihood or pursue beneficial activities such as education and personal development. Conversely, if nights were too short, people would not obtain the rest required to maintain their physical and mental well-being. Any alteration in the duration of days and nights would also disrupt agricultural cycles, leading to harmful consequences for the sustenance of both people and animals. Crops depend on precise patterns of sunlight, temperature, and darkness. Even slight imbalances would affect growth, harvests, and food availability. The fact that these systems operate with such precision, alongside countless other balanced systems within the universe, clearly indicates the oneness of Allah, the Exalted. If multiple gods existed, each with differing wills and desires, the universe would fall into disorder and collapse under conflicting commands. Chapter 21 Al-Anbiya, verse 22.
Had there been within them, i.e., the heavens and earth gods besides Allah, they both would have been ruined.
And chapter 55 Ar-Rahman, verse 17.
Lord of the two sunrises and Lord of the two sunsets.
These verses remind a person that the stability and balance they rely upon every day are not accidental. They are deliberate signs of divine wisdom, mercy, and power, signs that invite reflection, gratitude, and obedience. Chapter 55 Ar-Rahman, verse 18.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
The following verses highlight one of the remarkable aspects of creation, the coexistence of fresh and salt water, each serving distinct purposes, yet separated by a divinely ordained boundary that prevents their complete merging. Chapter 55 Ar-Rahman, verses 19 to 20.
He released the two seas meeting. Between them is a barrier, so neither of them transgresses.
Fresh water, found in rivers, streams, and lakes, is essential for drinking, agriculture, and sustaining life on land. Salt water, found in seas and oceans, supports marine ecosystems, regulates climate, and prevents contamination from decaying sea life. Were these waters to mix indiscriminately, the balance necessary for sustaining life on land and in the seas would collapse. Mountains further enhance this system, acting as natural reservoirs that collect, filter, and regulate water. They ensure that rainwater, even when slightly acidic, is purified as it flows through rivers and streams, providing fresh water suitable for human and animal consumption. Meanwhile, the salty waters of the oceans remain distinct, fulfilling their own vital ecological roles. This separation and regulation is not coincidental but deliberate, a clear sign of the wisdom, knowledge, and power of Allah, the Exalted. The harmony of water systems, the role of mountains, and the careful maintenance of the boundary between fresh and salt water all testify to the oneness of Allah, the Exalted. Creation operates under precise laws established by a single, all-wise Creator, not by chance or the influence of multiple powers. These signs call people to reflection, gratitude, and obedience, illustrating that just as the natural world functions only under divine law, human life too must be guided by the divine code of conduct. Chapter 55 Ar-Rahman, verse 21.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
The salt in the sea serves a critical and multifaceted purpose. Beyond simply adding flavor, it prevents the bodies of dead sea creatures from contaminating the water, maintaining the purity necessary for marine ecosystems to thrive. Without this regulation, the oceans would become overwhelmed with decay, making it impossible for fish, plants, and other forms of sea life to survive. The consequences would extend beyond the oceans, as the disruption of marine life would ultimately affect food sources and ecological balance on land. Humanity, too, would be deprived of the immense resources the oceans provide, including fish, pearls, coral, and minerals. This precise arrangement demonstrates that the oceans are not a random mixture of water, but a perfectly calibrated system, designed to sustain life in multiple dimensions. Chapter 55 Ar-Rahman, verses 22 to 23.
From both of them emerge pearl and coral. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
Not only do the oceans sustain countless forms of marine life, but they also play an indispensable role in human civilization, providing safe pathways for navigation, commerce, and global trade. Heavy ships traverse these vast waters with ease, carrying goods and connecting distant lands. Chapter 55, Rahman, verse 24.
And to him belong the ships with sails elevated in the sea like mountains.
This verse draws attention to the profound wisdom underlying the ocean's design. The salinity, density, currents, and temperature of seawater are all precisely balanced to maintain thriving marine ecosystems while simultaneously allowing human activity. Any slight alteration in one of these factors, such as an increase in salinity or a change in current flow, could lead to disastrous consequences, either by disrupting the delicate balance of marine life or by impeding navigation. Even the waves and tides, which might seem chaotic at first glance, are carefully regulated so that ships can sail safely while sea creatures continue to flourish below the surface. This intricate equilibrium is evidence that the oceans were not formed by chance, but are a meticulously planned system, serving multiple purposes in perfect harmony. Beyond sustaining life, the oceans continue to facilitate human progress in ways that remain essential even in modern times. Maritime transport is still a primary method for moving goods around the globe, highlighting the continued importance of this divine balance. The oceans simultaneously support ecosystems, regulate climate, provide food, and enable trade, all within a single interconnected system. This dual functionality, meeting the needs of both humans and marine life, demonstrates a level of foresight and comprehensive knowledge far beyond human capability. Every element, from ocean currents to the composition of seawater, is designed to function in harmony with the rest of the system, illustrating the wisdom, precision, and power of Allah the Exalted. Chapter 55, Rahman, verse 25.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
Allah the Exalted then draws attention to the temporal nature of all created beings, contrasting it with his own eternal existence, to remind people that everything in the universe is subject to eventual decay and death, while he alone remains everlasting and worthy of absolute obedience. Chapter 55, Rahman, verses 26 to 27.
Everyone upon the earth will perish, and there will remain the face of your Lord, owner of majesty and honor.
This reminder emphasizes that worldly power, wealth, and influence are fleeting, and that all beings, regardless of status or strength, are bound by the certainty of death. By reflecting on this reality, people are encouraged to orient their lives toward what is eternal, seeking the pleasure of Allah the Exalted, rather than clinging to transient worldly gains. Moreover, the inevitability of death and the permanence of Allah the Exalted are themselves blessings for humanity. They serve as a clear signal that one cannot fully escape the trials of this world, nor attain the eternal rewards of paradise, without undergoing the transition of death. This process provides an essential opportunity for reflection, accountability, and preparation, ensuring that the blessings of the hereafter are only accessible through adherence to the divine code of conduct. Chapter 55, Rahman, verse 28.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
Not only does Allah the Exalted have complete control over life and death, but he also continually sustains and provides for all of creation. His provision is not limited to those who believe in him or actively supplicate to him. Rather, it extends even to those who deny him. Every created being remains dependent upon him at every moment, whether this reality is acknowledged or ignored. Chapter 55, Rahman, verse 29.
Whoever is within the heavens and earth asks him.
The verse also emphasizes that the generosity and mercy of Allah, the Exalted, are not conditional upon human recognition or gratitude. He provides sustenance, health, opportunities, and countless unseen protections to people regardless of their belief or denial. This continuous provision serves as both a mercy and a silent reminder of humanity's complete dependence upon him. Chapter 55, Rahman, verse 29.
Every day he is bringing about a matter.
Reflecting on this reality should cultivate humility and gratitude. When people recognize that their existence is sustained moment by Allah, the Exalted, they are encouraged to turn to him willingly rather than remain heedless. True awareness of this dependence leads a person to obedience, trust, and sincerity. Understanding that the one who constantly provides without being asked is the most deserving of worship, reliance, and submission in every aspect of life. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 30.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
Despite Allah, the Exalted, continuously managing and controlling the countless affairs of the universe, from decreeing each drop of rain that falls upon the land to regulating the precise movements of the stars, people must not fall into the false belief, as some have, that he is too preoccupied with the vastness of creation to observe or hold accountable the two species granted a higher level of intelligence mentioned earlier in this chapter, humans and jinns. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 31.
We will attend to you, O prominent beings.
This declaration makes it clear that no matter how immense and complex the universe may be, nothing distracts Allah, the Exalted, from His knowledge, awareness, and judgment. The affairs of the entire creation do not diminish His attention to individual actions, intentions, and choices. Every deed, whether public or hidden, minor or great, is fully known and precisely recorded. This attentive observation and eventual accountability are clear signs of the perfect justice of Allah, the Exalted. He will not allow a wrongdoer to escape justice, even if they appear to have evaded worldly authorities or manipulated systems in their favor. Likewise, He will not allow the efforts of those who act righteously to be lost or ignored, even when their good deeds are overlooked, unappreciated, or forgotten by society. Every act of goodness will be repaid in full, with complete fairness and wisdom. This flawless system of accountability is itself a great blessing for humanity. It reassures the oppressed, restrains the arrogant, and gives meaning to moral responsibility. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 32.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
The chapter then transitions to the Day of Judgment, the time and place of final accountability, serving as a clear warning that it cannot be avoided or escaped by any means. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 33.
O company of jinn and mankind, if you are able to pass beyond the regions of the heavens and the earth, then pass. You will not pass except by authority.
This reality adds another layer of reassurance and certainty to the promise of perfect justice. The wrongdoer will not be able to evade accurate and fair accountability, no matter how successful they may have appeared in escaping justice in the world. Likewise, the doer of good will not be deprived of their reward, even if their efforts were unseen, unacknowledged, or unappreciated by others. Every deed will be measured with complete fairness, wisdom, and precision. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 34.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
Allah, the Exalted, then indirectly reminds people that just as they cannot escape accountability on the Day of Judgment, they will also not escape the consequences of their actions in this world, even though these consequences may not always be immediate or obvious. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 35.
There will be sent upon you a flame of fire and smoke, and you will not defend yourselves.
The restoration of justice by Allah, the Exalted, both in this world and on the Day of Judgment, is itself a great blessing for mankind. It ensures that oppression is not meaningless, that good is not wasted, and that moral responsibility has real consequences. This reality should inspire people to reflect justice in their own conduct, by being fair, honest, and balanced in every matter and situation. When people neglect justice, whether in personal dealings or wider society, they only move closer to encountering the perfect and inescapable justice of Allah, the Exalted. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 36.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
Allah, the Exalted, then describes one of the awe-inspiring signs of the Day of Judgment, drawing attention to a dramatic transformation in the skies that signals the collapse of the existing order of the universe. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 37.
And when the heaven is split open and becomes rose-colored like oil.
This verse conveys a scene of overwhelming intensity, where the familiar stability of the skies is removed and replaced with a striking and terrifying change. The splitting of the sky represents the end of the natural laws that govern the universe in its current form, while its red, oil-like appearance reflects extreme heat, distortion, and dissolution. It serves as a powerful reminder that the cosmos, which appears so vast and permanent, is in reality fragile and fully subject to the command of Allah the Exalted. It is noteworthy that this description was revealed long before modern scientific discoveries relating to the life cycle of stars. It is now known that before the death of a star, such as the Sun, it turns red as it reaches the final stages of its existence. If the Sun were to become red, the sky as seen from Earth would also take on a red appearance. This correspondence does not mean that the verse is merely describing a physical process, but it does illustrate how divine revelation points to realities far beyond the knowledge available to people at the time of its revelation. In addition, a hadith found in Sahih Muslim, number 2864, warns that on the Day of Judgment the sun will be brought extremely close to the creation. When a star reaches the end of its life, it also expands significantly, and this expansion naturally reduces the distance between it and surrounding bodies. The combination of intense heat, proximity, and cosmic collapse reinforces the terrifying reality of that day and the complete helplessness of the creation before Allah the Exalted. These descriptions are not provided to satisfy curiosity, but to awaken reflection and responsibility. They remind people that the same power that maintains balance in the universe today is fully capable of dismantling it tomorrow. This realization should lead a person to humility, repentance, and sincere preparation, understanding that the Day of Judgment will arrive with undeniable signs, and that no power, knowledge, or escape will benefit anyone except obedience to Allah the Exalted. In addition, as Allah the Exalted has clearly warned people in advance about the seriousness of the Day of Judgment and the necessity of preparing for it through righteous action, rather than concealing this reality from them, He has bestowed upon them a great favor. By informing people beforehand, He has given them the opportunity to reflect, reform, and realign their lives before the arrival of a day from which there will be no return. This forewarning is a manifestation of divine mercy and justice. It ensures that no one can claim ignorance, and that accountability is based on clear guidance and prior knowledge. People are not taken by surprise. Instead, they are repeatedly reminded so that they may consciously choose obedience, repentance, and moral responsibility. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 38.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
After mentioning His infinite power and complete control over the creation, such as His ability to alter the very structure of the universe in order to establish the Day of Judgment, Allah the Exalted then highlights another essential aspect of accountability, His absolute and all-encompassing knowledge of every deed. Since Allah the Exalted alone fully knows intentions, speech, and actions, there is no need for any person to be questioned in order to uncover their sins, as nothing is hidden from Him. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 39.
Then on that day none will be asked about his sin among men or jinn.
This verse emphasizes that divine judgment does not rely on confession, interrogation, or external proof. Every action has already been perfectly recorded, along with the intention behind it and the circumstances in which it was performed. Unlike human systems of justice, where people may lie, conceal evidence, or manipulate outcomes, nothing can be concealed from the knowledge of Allah the Exalted. A worldly judge must gather information, hear testimonies, and examine evidence in order to reach a decision. And even then, errors, bias, or injustice may occur. In contrast, the infinite knowledge of Allah the Exalted guarantees that justice will be delivered with complete accuracy and fairness, without omission or mistake. No wrong will be overlooked, and no good deed will be undervalued or lost. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 40.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
Every act of injustice will be brought to account, and every wrongdoer will be punished with complete justice and fairness. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 41.
The criminals will be known by their marks, and they will be seized by the forelocks and the feet.
This verse illustrates the certainty and clarity of divine justice on the Day of Judgment. Wrongdoing will not be hidden, denied, or confused with righteousness. Those who committed injustice will be unmistakably identified, and their punishment will reflect the reality of their actions. This leaves no room for deception, false appearances, or claims of innocence, as the truth will be fully exposed. For those who endured oppression, injustice, or abuse at the hands of others, witnessing this justice will be a profound source of comfort and reassurance. It confirms that every moment of suffering, every tear and every act of patience was seen, recorded, and valued by Allah, the Exalted. Nothing was ignored or forgotten, even if it was dismissed or trivialized by people in the world. At the same time, this verse serves as a serious warning to oppressors. It calls them to repent sincerely and correct the wrongs they have committed before it is too late. This warning itself is a manifestation, a divine mercy, as Allah the Exalted did not need to inform people of the consequences awaiting them, yet He chose to do so to give them an opportunity to reform and seek forgiveness. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 42.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
As discussed earlier, one of the primary reasons why elements of the hereafter, such as the Day of Judgment and Hell, are described with such vivid clarity in Islamic teachings is to dismantle the false beliefs adopted by earlier nations. Many of them belittled these realities, treating them as distant, symbolic, or even objects of mockery. This attitude was rooted in wishful thinking, where people persisted in disobedience to Allah, the Exalted, while reassuring themselves that they would nevertheless attain safety and success in both worlds. These false assumptions appeared in many forms. Some relied on the supposed intercession of a righteous individual, while making no effort to reform their own conduct. Others believed that a mere verbal claim of faith would guarantee salvation, regardless of actions. Some assumed that excuses or repentance would automatically be accepted on the Day of Judgment, even if repentance was insincere or delayed until accountability was unavoidable. Others underestimated the severity of the hereafter, imagining its punishments to be no more serious than worldly suffering. Such misconceptions removed any sense of urgency, accountability, or moral discipline from people's lives. To eradicate these dangerous beliefs, Islamic teachings describe the realities of the hereafter in detail, so that people may fully grasp their seriousness and prepare accordingly. Chapter 55 Rahman, verses 43 to 44.
This is hell which the criminals deny. They will go around between it and scalding water, heated to the utmost degree.
Importantly, the purpose of these descriptions is not to instill despair, but to awaken hearts and minds to the truth, and to motivate practical obedience to Allah, the Exalted. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 45.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
Such obedience involves correctly utilizing the blessings He has granted in ways pleasing to Him. As outlined in the Holy Quran and the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. When these teachings are internalized, a person is protected from complacency, shielded from false hopes, and guided towards sincerity, responsibility, and self-discipline. This path leads to true success in both worlds, as it enables a person to attain a balanced mental and physical state, and to correctly place everything and everyone within their life. It also ensures safety from punishment, and prepares a person to meet accountability with clarity and readiness. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 46.
But for he who has feared the position of his Lord are two gardens.
Despite the fact that people only perform a limited number of good deeds in this world, and that even these deeds are often imperfect, incomplete, and mixed with shortcomings, Allah the Exalted promises them eternal blessings in paradise. The contrast between the small, temporary efforts made in worldly life and the everlasting reward granted in the hereafter highlights an immense and undeniable favor. A finite lifespan, limited strength, and imperfect sincerity are met with infinite reward, unending comfort, and everlasting peace. This alone demonstrates the vast mercy, generosity, and kindness of Allah, the Exalted. Human beings are unable to sustain perfection, even for a single day, let alone an entire lifetime. Their good deeds are affected by fatigue, distraction, weakness, and error. Yet Allah, the Exalted, out of grace rather than obligation, multiplies these deeds and rewards them with eternity. This shows that entry into paradise is not earned purely through deeds, but through divine mercy that far exceeds what people deserve based on their actions alone. Another aspect of this blessing is that the pleasures of paradise are free from all the flaws of worldly enjoyment. In this world, every comfort is accompanied by hardship, fear of loss, illness, aging, or death. In paradise, blessings are pure, uninterrupted, and everlasting. There is no exhaustion after pleasure, no boredom after enjoyment, and no fear of losing what one possesses. This eternal security and contentment are granted in return for a short life of effort, restraint, patience, and obedience. Chapter 55 Rahman, verses 47 to 77.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? Having spreading branches. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? In both of them are two springs flowing. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? In both of them are of every fruit two kinds. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? They are reclining on beds whose linings are of silk brocade, and the fruit of the two gardens is hanging low. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? In them are women limiting their glances, untouched before them by man or jinn. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? As if they were rubies and coral. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? Is the reward for good anything but good? So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? And below them both in excellence are two other gardens. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? Dark green in color. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? In both of them are two springs spouting. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? In both of them are fruit and palm trees and pomegranates. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? In them are good and beautiful women. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? Fair ones reserved in pavilions. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? Untouched before them by man or jinn. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? Reclining on green cushions and beautiful fine carpets. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?
Knowing that Allah, the Exalted, rewards generously, encourages people to strive sincerely, even when their efforts seem small. At the same time, it reminds them not to belittle good deeds, as even limited acts done with sincerity can become a means to eternal success through divine mercy. It also balances fear and hope. Fear of accountability prevents negligence, while hope in mercy prevents despair. Recognizing this should lead people to gratitude, perseverance, and sincere obedience, motivating them to use their limited time wisely in preparation for an unlimited and everlasting outcome. Chapter 55 Rahman, verse 78.
Blessed is the name of your Lord, owner of majesty and honor.
To conclude, a person must sincerely accept and act upon Islamic teachings for their own benefit, even if these teachings contradict their immediate desires. Just as a wise patient follows the guidance of a physician, taking bitter medicines and adhering to a strict diet plan for the sake of long-term health, a person who follows the divine guidance of Allah, the Exalted, will achieve a balanced mental and physical state, while correctly positioning every aspect of their life. The wisdom and knowledge required to accomplish this are beyond human capability. No societal research, no matter how advanced, can account for every challenge, stress, or circumstance an individual may face. Human advice, while useful, is inherently limited by knowledge, experience, foresight, and biases. Allah, the Exalted, alone possesses complete and perfect knowledge of what leads to true well-being and balance. And He has made this guidance accessible to humanity through the Holy Quran and the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. This truth becomes apparent when one observes the difference between those who use the blessings they have been granted according to Islamic teachings, and those who do not. While people often trust their doctors without understanding the full science behind the prescriptions, Allah, the Exalted, provides guidance that is even more comprehensive, inviting reflection and understanding rather than blind adherence. He desires that people recognize the truthfulness of Islam through clear evidence, but this requires approaching its teachings with an unbiased and open mind. Chapter 12 Yusuf, verse 108.
Say, this is my way, I invite to Allah with insight, I and those who follow me.
Furthermore, Allah, the Exalted, alone controls the spiritual hearts of people, the true source of peace of mind. Chapter 53 and Name, verse 43.
And that it is He who makes one laugh and weep.
It is clear, therefore, that genuine peace of mind is granted only to those who use the blessings of Allah, the Exalted, correctly, following the guidance outlined in the Holy Quran and the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Obedience to this divine guidance is not a burden, but the path to harmony, tranquility, and ultimate success in both worlds. Chapter 16 and now, verse 97.
Whoever does righteousness, whether male or female, while he is a believer, we will surely cause him to live a good life, and we will surely give them their reward in the hereafter according to the best of what they used to do.
All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, and may peace and blessings be upon his final messenger, Muhammad, his noble family and companions.